Welcome to Igniting Inspired Insight, a space for real conversations with incredible humans. I'm your host, Jae, teacher, guide, and student of expanding everyday wisdom. And this podcast is about really dialing into the wisdom that's within all of us and knowing that healing can come through listening, through hearing each other's stories, and through sharing what our deepest truths are. So this is a place where 3 questions open the door to reflection, resonance, and revelation. And I'm so honored to have these conversations and to see where they go. And we're really seeing what comes through this beautiful kōrero. This is a space for truth, for trust, and the kind of insight that comes from simply being human. So let's dive in. I am so honored today to have a beautiful Zena, who actually I met in an event, and then I was like, hey, you should do my podcast. And we only met for a very short space of time, but we connected over messages through something and just aligned. And I was like, yes, please. And then, as you can see behind her, there's a beautiful artwork. So I'm so grateful that you're here, Zena. And thank you for sharing your time. And I'm excited where this will go. So for those of you who are listening, I'm going to ask you to share with us, who is Zena?
Who is Zena? Ko ai au. Ko Zena tuku ingoa. So I am the wahine, the woman, the creator behind Wharekoko toy. I make these beautiful pieces. Yeah, I'm a creator, I'm a carer. I've created children, created mokopuna. I've created art. I've cared for lots of people, and now I'm on a journey of caring for me. So yeah, I live in Otatahi, Christchurch. I whakapapa kahununu on my dad's side, so it's Hawke's Bay, and I whakapapa to Ngaitahu, Otago Marae, Dunedin on my mother's side, so I'm quite blessed. But grew up a typical Kiwi kid in Dunedin, very disconnected and isolated from my culture. So for the past, I'd say 20 years, I've been on a journey of rewriting chapters in my life, of reclaiming, remembering, and rising to my higher self. And that brings me here today.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is that peace and that power that I think you and I connected to over in the event, because we were speaking the same language of like,
Totally.
it's time to rise.
Yeah. Everything you were saying, I was like, bang on.
Yeah, high five across the room.
Yeah. Loved it. It was like, oh, can I go and stalk her? No, would it be creepy?
Please do, because then we connect.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah. So when you put the the kōrero out there, and I was just like, felt the pull, felt the call, why not? Jump in.
Yeah. And a lot of like I felt it as well, but there's a lot of the invitations are also coming through spirit. Like, so that unit spirit just pops someone in my face and I'm like, okay, I'm here for it, which is so powerful.
Totally.
So I love asking this first question because the answer is always so divinely different. So this section is called the common thread. This is a question you know. So I get to ask you now, what is one moment, belief, or experience that changed the way you see the world?
One moment, belief, or experience. Well, there's been a lot. I guess the one that kind of comes through consistently through that weaves through my whole life to now has been one of grief. Yeah, grief has been, I've had some pretty powerful moments, but the big one for me would have been almost 20 years ago. I was 30, living here in Christchurch as a young mum, solo mum, and I got a phone call from my mother saying that my father had a heart attack. It's time for us to go home. And that was the first time I'd ever gone onto a marae. So returning back to, say my goodbyes to him and let him go in a space and a place that was very unfamiliar to me, because even though both my parents are Māori and my mum, I grew up in Dunedin, and mum's marae is like literally down the peninsula. We never went into those spaces. And so that really, it was quite nerve-wracking for me going into a space where there was all these people and this huge whānau that knew me knew of me, but I didn't know who the hell anybody was. And yeah, it was having people standing beside me telling me literally what to do, how to do it, and guiding me. And it was okay to be exactly how I needed to be. If I wanted to scream, I wanted to cry, if I wanted to, slam the door, I could do it. And
Mhm.
so that really, going through that process of letting my dad go, and then quite soon after, my younger brother committed suicide 4 months after dad. And again, back on that marae, back going through that experience, and it shifted. It made me realize there was this big part that I'd sort of been missing, this connection of who am I and where do I come from,
Mhm.
and standing on the whenua, on the land that I knew that my great, great, great grandfather had been on. It
Mhm.
really stirred a lot up in for me. So by that point, I had my children, they were teenagers and young. And I thought, I've missed out. Here's my opportunity to give them something that I never had. So it was about opening that door and being brave enough to walk through it. So I came back to Christchurch, packed up the house, and we moved to Hawke's
Mhm.
Bay. And that changed my whole view on the world. For a while, I had to sit with, I couldn't understand how there were all these people that didn't know me, but yet were so willing to love me, so willing to love me through the
Mhm.
hardest chapters of my. And so, it's like they say, as one door closes, another one opens. And it's
Mhm.
been willing enough to walk through it. And so when grief has come back, as it does, it comes knocking in our lives,
Yep.
unpredictable times, sometimes predictable. I've been able to stand in a place of knowing
Mhm.
where I come from, and knowing that I now open that door not only for myself but for my mokopuna, so that they never have to experience what I felt going onto that marae for the very first time, carrying our father's coffin on was
Mhm.
quite daunting. And so, yeah, yeah, that would be the thread that's come through, that's changed my whole view on the world, how
Mhm.
I see it.
Yeah. And a trajectory from many other things, right? And
Mm.
you
And
know, I can,
so much has come from it,
yeah.
so many chapters in my lives, and opportunities and experiences, some good, some not so good,
Mhm.
have come from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's powerful. I completely agree with you that grief is one of the greatest teachers. It's one of the biggest lessons and pivots that we
Mm,
receive in our life, and it
mm,
does have so many different threads.
mm,
But in turn, being gifted this new way of living and being received by whānau like that
mm,
is just like such a powerful, I could imagine the
mm.
pivot that offers for you.
Yeah.
Is what you were describing, like just being held in whatever you, even though you didn't, they knew you, but you didn't know them, but still feeling like you were belonged and that they would guide you, was like that's whānau to me.
Oh, totally. Like, if I go back to even thinking about, when my grandfather passed, it was quite different. We turned
Mhm.
up to a funeral home. There was a casket. We went to a graveside. There was no experience. There was
Mhm.
no allowing and sitting and being and crying and then watching people coming on, and then being told, because this is why you sit up here. This is why
Mhm.
we do this. These are this is your, and it was like, whoa. It was such
Yeah.
an eye-opener to, where has this been my whole life?
Mhm.
And then being on the other side of it, of being able to sit with other people who are grieving,
Mhm.
and to be able to awhi and support them through that journey, is a
Mhm.
beautiful way of that koha, that giving back.
Mhm. Sounds
Yeah.
like an initiation. In all the right ways.
In all the right ways, I,
Yes,
I,
very
I
powerful.
could have gone the other way and just went, this isn't for me. And that
Mhm.
would have been okay. And I would have carried on with my life.
Yep.
But I
Yeah,
just,
you're right. You play a big part in receiving that and stepping into it. Like where you're at now isn't just because of that experience, it's because of the choices you made from that experience.
mm, mm, yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah.
Mm.
Too, because like I said, there were so many people that knew me and I didn't know them. Even knowing how to pronounce words, or
Mhm.
I remember one of my cousins saying to me, "Oh, Zena, there's lots of raru rarus between the aunties and the uncles," and I just thought he meant it was like some kind of like affection or love, but raru raru means like arguing or tension. And so, just all these little things that I had no exposure, none. And so it was even learning how to say some of their names I
Mhm.
couldn't pronounce.
Mhm.
And so everybody just got called cuz for
Yeah.
a while until I got comfortable,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
allowed it. They didn't reprimand me, they didn't tell me off, they didn't give me the dirty looks. They just said, "Oh, hey, cuz, you need to take your shoes off before you go in there, and oh, we don't have food in this," and that
Mhm.
and that was good because I was open
Mhm.
to receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can really understand how that's changed the way you see your world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And such a beautiful gift.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, because death is scary, but we don't have to be scared of it. Because there's what I've learned in being in that space of tangi, it's while it's a farewell and it's a letting go, it's very much a celebration. And I've been to
Mhm.
tangis where I don't even know the person.
Mhm.
I've just been there to support, but you get such a feeling
Yeah.
for who the person was.
Mhm.
And being in that space with the family is just, it's quite humbling. It's quite
Oh
an
yeah.
honor.
Yeah. And I do believe I believe that death is only scary because we don't talk about it enough.
Mm,
I mean, I get like people being afraid of their own passing and what that might look like, but at the same time, like if we're alive, we're gonna die. Like it is absolutely inevitable.
it's a surety. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we die, we all die at like at varying different ages too. Like I think the other thing that I hear a lot is like, oh, they're so young. And I was like, I from what I see is like it's actually quite rare for people to make it to the and a gift to
Mm,
be in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Like
mm,
there's varying degrees of age stage and life and it's about understanding that yeah, it is inevitable, but also from my own experience, I think that it's just the next step.
mm.
And I can't prove that because I haven't been there yet. But
Yeah.
that's what I feel. And I don't believe I just feel it because it makes me feel better. I feel it because, well, because I have people come through for me and I can feel that now
It's
that
your
they're not,
knowing.
yeah, they're not in their human body anymore, but they are having a fantastic time. And they're here with me as often as they want to, or whenever I call on them, or when I don't
Mm,
expect it, and that's okay too. But yeah,
yeah.
I think that we are there's greater things available for us, and it's just an ending of a human life. And I'm
Mhm,
not discounting it because it's important and it is powerful and there is grief, absolutely. But there's
mhm.
more as well.
Oh, and it makes you reevaluate as well when for me, I reevaluate. I can sit in this space of just grieving and being sad, and that's okay. And there's times and places for it.
Yeah.
But then it's how am I going to show up in how I live my life? Because, I've lost two brothers and they've been denied their opportunity to live and have children,
Hmm.
and live the life that I've been able to live. So
Yeah.
how do I honor them and honor myself by
Agreed.
the way I show up now?
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we're speaking the same language, and I see that in terms of when my sister passed and people are like, oh, are you okay? It must be really hard. And I'm like, well, yes. And it's um, I think there was more of an assumption of like, you must be in pity, you must be like in a victim. And I'm like, no,
Mm,
no, no. Like, she died. Like, so my right now is to have the most incredible fucking life. Like, so she's not
mm,
here, but I get to make the most of mine. And like, that's the least I can do.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
have a really fucking good time.
Because you kind of, I don't know if you notice it, Jay, as there's sort of like there's almost two sides to grieving, is that, people either expect you to behave in a certain way,
Exactly.
or people who you thought were your friends who were going to have your back and who were going to be there beside you and just hold you when you need to, they just become a distant, people
Hmm.
don't know how to step into that space as
Yeah.
well. So they become strangers.
Yeah.
They don't know what to say. And And generally when I see somebody else going through grief, or I go, just show up. Just
Mm-hmm.
just send a text. Just
Mm-hmm.
put a bunch of flowers in the letterbox, just something
Yep.
so that they know that you're thinking of them. And if they want you,
Mm-hmm.
then they can lean into that space. But ghosting,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tricky thing, and people don't know what to say or do. But that's the thing, is they get caught up with what would be the right thing to say or do, and there isn't any. And I know that too. Like there is definitely a point, like right at the initial stages of grief, and I realized that I was like everything that everybody said kind of ticked me off. But what I realized was that it was because nothing anyone could do or say would make me feel better. However,
Better.
just
No.
them being around
Hmm.
was all I needed.
Hmm.
And just being, or doing other things than just sitting in it, is
Hmm.
really powerful. But
Hmm.
also, I think one of the most powerful things to say is, I don't know what to say right now.
Hmm. Owning
I'm
it.
here for you.
Yeah. Completely owning it and being vulnerable. Going, I don't want to put my foot in it. I don't want to say
Yeah,
the wrong thing, but I'm here.
yeah, yeah. Because actually, what happens is when people are so caught up in that, and they really do say the wrong thing, but it's never wrong because they're still there, and it's just being with them.
Sometimes even when you're in that grief stage, there's so much going on that you can't even remember the finer details. It's all
Nah.
becomes a bit of a blur. And I remember after my dad died, and my mum saying, because meeting all these different families and cousins, and I was going, oh
Mhm.
yeah, this one and that one. She said, oh, do you remember this one? I'm going, nah,
Nah.
who?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Just it all becomes a bit of a blur, but it's the I know I've been guilty of it myself, where I've seen friends or family who have lost somebody, and I haven't known how to hold that space. So
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
when I've shown up, they're like, Where were you, Zena?" And so
Mhm.
that's sort of that being able to sit in that space, and
Mhm. Oh yeah.
it's a
Oh
battle.
yeah. I think this is really powerful for some people to hear, especially. But I also know that we don't really know how to show up for grief until we've experienced it ourselves.
Mm.
And so having compassion for like the person who's grieving, having compassion for those who haven't experienced in that, and knowing that that's why they don't know what to do or how to
Yeah.
show up, because they haven't experienced it the same way. But once you have, then you kind of know. And like you said, it's like even just the little things that thought of, like you don't have to even be in there if you know that that space is what they need, but like a little feed
Mm,
or a little flower or a little something, something.
something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the days and the weeks and the months that follow,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody comes knocking on the door in those first, but
Yeah.
it's the long term, and it's the
Yes.
remembering afterwards.
Yeah. And then we also get the complete opposite of that. Like in grief, we really see some of our people's true strength, and
Yeah.
connections are deepened. Like I will always be grateful for the depth of connection that I now have with those who wrapped around me in that
Mm,
moment, and vice versa. I've wrapped around them in those moments as well, and that I really do believe has created a bond beyond.
mm,
Mm,
mm.
so special.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and now I get to ask you this next question. So Zena doesn't know what I'm about to ask her, and well, until today. And as a creative, I'm really excited to hear your answer on this. If insight had a shape or a texture, what would it feel like for you today?
As I'm literally sitting here rubbing
Yay.
rubbing a rock, a kohatu.
I love it.
I'll share what's on the back of it. It says Modi
Yes.
Modi kohatu. Modi is like your energy. Hold me, rub me to feel my magic Modi aroha.
Mm. So does
Um,
that align with how you feel today?
yeah, if insight was a color or a texture, it, I guess it takes me back to even renaming in the name of my business, Wharekoko Toy, and the whole creative process is, it's very much a holding within.
Mhm.
A lot of the times when I create, I never know what's going to come out. I never plan anything. I might put, like guidelines on, and I'll select some colors, and there might be when I've done Maori patterns, I might be thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to do a mangopare or whatever, or I'm going to incorporate, but I never know until the end.
Mhm.
And it reminds me very much that it's like when you're hapu and when you're having a baby, and you're nurturing and you're holding it within. And then by the time you've nourished it and nurtured it, the same with creating, and then it's, you bring it to life, it comes to life, and then it's no longer mine. It's there for the world to enjoy.
Mhm.
And yeah, if it was an insight, it's having that confidence of knowing, like even when I first started creating, my journey of creating started from grief. Um,
Mhm.
being at a tangi of a very dear friend and seeing a mandala, and then being quite isolated and living in a rural town, and going through a huge shift in my own life around, fibromyalgia, perimenopausal, mental health, and I didn't want to go to old vices. I didn't want to um, go to old habits. I was very much I wanted to take control, and I wanted to step into a new way of healing. And that's where art came back. And I've always dabbled in it, but it's
Mhm.
where it really came back with a hiss and a roar, was through that expression of color and texture. And here, I'll show you this, Jay. I'll show you.
Mhm. Yes, please.
Here's the first one I ever
Oh,
painted.
wow. Yeah, yeah. I love that
The
you still have that
OG of the
around. Yeah.
OG. So,
Yes. The
it was all,
beginning.
yeah, yeah. So it was all about, for me, there was never an expectation or a certain, like, I've got to do this for, it was all for me. It
Mhm.
was all about me getting out of this, and shutting out all of this, especially this, and
Mm.
being able to escape. And then in those spaces and in that creating time, that's where some deeper wānanga, some deeper conversations gone on with myself, where I've been able to really reflect on things and either let shit go or own it
Mhm.
and shift it.
Mhm.
Um, I couldn't imagine my life without it now.
Yeah, it's your medicine.
It's my rongoa,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
it's very much been, it's like connecting the dots between art and healing.
Mhm.
So it's all very well to be thinking, oh, I need to take this to fix me, I need to take that to fix me, but through creativity and through color and through texture and through art, that's where I've found the biggest healing for me.
Mhm.
And I just want it for everybody. I
Yeah.
want everybody to experience the joy and the peace that you can find when you create.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So special. Thank you for sharing. So here we are in the third segment, which is reflecting light. So Zena, you have a question for me.
I do, Jay, I do. Okay, my question to you is, what kind of legacy do you hope your work leaves for the next generation?
Mm, easy. Community, connection, conversation.
Mm.
Yeah. The legacy I want to leave is what I have been so gifted to receive, which is such a powerfully supportive whānau.
Mm.
And that's not all blood. It's just the community, the friends that
Mm.
I have, and the time and energy that we're prepared to put in to keep those connections rich,
Mm.
supportive, and really show up for each other. Um, and the legacy to me is my nieces and nephews. Like that's what I look to right now. Like, who
Mm.
can I be for them to be that support? That they have really incredible parents, and who can I be for them as well?
Mm.
And I also see myself living a really long time, and I want to be just well and teaching people about what is available to us just in the garden and out and being outside, and that the simplicity the legacy is really about like your care is simple.
Mm.
It's not always easy, and the easy or the difficulty is in committing to it, is to getting comfortable and being in your own space. However, when you can do that, when you can build a better relationship with you, the world will be a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so therefore it's simple.
Mm.
Get to know you. And
Yeah.
if that's the one that I could lead, because we're so, I say we as a society, we as a planet are so disconnected and disassociated. And I get why it's not one person's fault, but the healing comes from reconnecting and
Mm.
remembering all that you are. Because
Mm.
the fears, doubts, and disconnection and distractions, they have us forget that.
Mm. Yeah, 100%, eh?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. I even think back to, I was talking to my granddaughter earlier, um, and she was talking about how we've got a DVD player, Tawa, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, we've got a DVD player and we're watching DVD movies. And I said to her, gosh, when I was a kid, we just had, a TV where you had to press the button and it went off at 8 o'clock. Good night, Kiwi.
Mm-hmm.
Life was a lot simpler. There was
Mm-hmm.
less distractions. Nowadays, there's so much that we're competing with social media, and now
So
they're
much
saying that
noise.
people associate themselves because they sleep with their phones and
Mm-hmm.
go to the toilet with their phones, and you're inviting all this other stuff into your space,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not even knowing who you are. Like you're saying, it's they're
Yeah.
remembering and being true to who you really are. How can you do that when you're
Yeah. I agree. And what is lost is our own inner knowing and the space to listen to our intuition, which
mm,
and I believe that that's true well-being is when we're
mm,
connected to ourselves to a place where we can listen and learn. And
mm,
again, it's like it's actually quite simple, but there's so many things that are in our way set up to distract us, and it's not all evil, but the that's what's happening with it.
yeah,
And I hear you on that, and also just understanding. I believe, and I'm sure there's science around this, but this is just more of a knowing. But like I think that the noise and the rate of information, like I don't. That's why there's so much trouble with mental health, because our brain is not made for that rate of
mm,
information, and so we're overwhelmed,
mm,
even when we don't think we are. We're like, there's just so much going on, and then we're in this frenetic energy and our body's in fight or flight like all the time,
yeah,
even when we're lying on the couch
yep,
thinking that we're resting,
you're not,
because we're and it's like the brain is like fuck, you
yeah,
know and then the sleep is all up the wop, and then we're not paying attention to when we're full or when we're hungry, and like we're disconnected from when we're hydrated. Like these are simple things that keep you well and lasting, and we're disconnected from that because we're distracted.
yep, yep. And it's that whole like even thinking about with my granddaughter that they have these devices and they all have a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah,
all good.
absolutely. That's why
But
we're here, right?
right, that's how we're here.
Yeah.
But then it gets to a point too, is that we, like you're saying, is that remembering and knowing within ourselves. We'd rather listen to, we go searching for the answers when the answers have always been,
Mm-hmm.
like when I think about the answers that I really needed, that really gave me peace and comfort, came within me, not from somebody else, not
Mm-hmm.
from, somebody else telling me or talking to me. If
Mm-hmm.
talk therapy worked for me, I could have talked to the wall and been healed years ago,
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
about that knowing, having a belief and knowing instead of listening to somebody. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love doctors and there's a place for it,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes we give our power away too much
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
don't put in a
Absolutely.
place. And it's like, for me, thinking about legacy, it's that whole, what do I want to be leaving?
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm loving, what I see, especially in how we met
Mm-hmm.
in circle. Oh man, so many beautiful young wahine
Yeah.
sisters just
Mm-hmm.
rising. And I think, I'm knocking on 50. And I think, where was this 30 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
It's
was
so
there, but it
surreal.
wasn't. But it's
Yeah.
just so beautiful to see the legacy of sisterhood, of circle, of healing, of owning, of remembering
Mm-hmm.
is just rising. It's
Mm-hmm. I can
beautiful.
feel it in the I
Oh,
can tingle it in my body. It's so true. And creating opportunities for that as often, I mean, that's my mission is opportunities for that as often as we can. And having
mm,
it look really different, you know, whether it's walking groups, whether it's yoga classes, whether it's retreats, whether it's just being mindful of how I hold my space within family or
mm,
within that connection with the person who's I'm getting my coffee from. Like,
mm,
and that was actually something that was instilled in me in a really early age, which I believe actually this is a big piece of my legacy, is always leave a profit, leave things better than you found them, leave people better
mm,
than you
mm,
found them. When you
mhm.
think about that, the world will be better in every which way.
That's beautiful, Jay, that leave people better than you found them.
And all you need to do with that is connect, is see them,
Mm.
give them a good day and listen or not, or smile. I always think about little old people walking down the street and I'm like, and if I pass them, I'm going to give them my time. What if I'm the only human they see for like 3 or 4 days?
And what does it cost you to smile at somebody?
Nothing.
Because that whole authentic connecting,
Hmm.
again, that's self. Because a lot of times people, they think they're connecting, but they're not because they're listening. They're only listening to you long enough. They've already checked out.
Hmm.
They've heard one thing that you have potentially said,
Hmm.
or they've turned up to something with a certain expectation, and they're
Hmm.
just waiting for their moment to, you
Speak.
know, it's no longer about you. It becomes about them.
Hmm. Yep. That's a
And so
beautiful point.
what does connection, true authentic connection really look like? And it's only really something that in the last, probably in the last 5 years that I've really had to sort of identify and sit and go,
Mhm.
oh, okay, yep, yep,
Yeah.
and see when I'm doing it.
Yep. I've had to unpack that myself too.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. And get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way, and but also stay out of other people's way and let
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
We can't drag somebody to, it's like they say, you can't lead horse to water.
Hmm.
You can't drag someone through healing.
Yeah, agreed. And the most powerful thing we can do is help people find their own answers in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's so special. And another thing that came through for me when you were saying about um like connecting with someone and
Mm,
oh it's gone and it'll come back. But like just being there with them in that moment and seeing them, oh, you'd said and it doesn't cost you anything. And what I
mm,
thought about that point, I was like, well, actually it's the flip side. Like it lights me up.
mm,
I feel good. And it's not like that's why I do it, but like I might all of a sudden this beautiful human who I just decided to say hello to tells me the most beautiful little thing about their grandchild or something that just
mm,
happened to and I'm just I it's so special to hear that.
mm. Because it's that gift, it's that koha, it's that gift of
Mhm.
giving back. It doesn't cost you in a financial or an emotional. It actually
Mm,
gives. And it's the
yeah.
ripple effect. You smile at someone, they go then, and it's
Yes.
if we can all just step with a little bit of,
And there's that reciprocity, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So special. So cool. Thank you so much. I want to finish by asking where, so that those that are listening, how can they connect with you? They're probably looking at the wall behind you and being like, how do I get one of those? Like, how do I get a mandala? Which as before we were recording, I also said to Zena, I've got an idea. But yeah, if you can share with people how they can connect with you and what you do.
Cool. So the best place to find me is obviously on social media. I mean, probably the easiest way is to just type in my name, Zena Crean,
Mhm.
or Wharekoko Toi. Whare is Whare, Koko, Koko, and then Toi,
Mhm.
Toi. So yeah, that's
And
how
you
you
like,
follow me
do
up
you
on
chat with
Insta.
people on Insta?
Yeah,
Yeah,
predominantly
cool.
on Insta, Facebook, and good old TikTok. Just started
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on TikTok. So
Oh, well, I can share some of those links in these show notes too, so people can just straight to you.
yeah,
And
and just just
I
drop in,
believe you.
even
Yeah.
if it's just you're wanting to have a yarn, or I'm really big on, I'm not a gatekeeper, so I
Mhm.
really want to show other women, sisters, anybody that's
Mhm.
wanting to tap into the creative side,
Mhm.
especially here in New Zealand, because I've learned some hard lessons along the ways of where to find things and stuff. So if I can make it easier for somebody else, just drop me a DM
Yeah.
and I'll let you know, and we can make some magic together, very open to
Yes.
100%.
That just
Yeah.
dropped in for me and you, so we'll
Yeah.
chat about it after. So cool. And you do these beautiful mandalas also for commission too, right?
Totally, totally. So I create what I'm inspired to create or what I'm called to create. And but I also love doing specifically for the first person. So I've done like memorial pieces, remembrance, celebrations. I think one of my granddaughters, she's got like several on her wall. She's
Yeah.
a bit like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these are my favorites that I'll never let go of. But yeah, I really like creating for the person, and letting it be about their story and their journey,
Hmm.
rippling out, and then explaining how you can use that mandala as not just something pretty on the wall, but how it can be a tool, meditative tool, and a healing tool, and a reminder so that it serves you. Mm,
So special.
yeah,
Wow, I'm sure people will find you. And I love hearing what you have to say on social media too. So that's something that's really
yeah.
inspired me. So I recommend that people do that. And I'm just so grateful for your time and being here. And I knew that this was going to be a really special korero. And yeah, I was right.
Never knew where it was going to go, and I'm kind of like those
No,
ones. I like those ones that kind of, you know.
yeah. And that's really the whole point. And that especially in the name, igniting inspired inquiry. Like, where shall we inquire and what will come from that? And yes, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you for having me, Jay. I'm so, so honored. I
Oh,
really
so
appreciate
good. So, for those who are joining us, thank you for joining us in today's insight. I hope it sparked something in you. And if you'd like to connect with either of us, you'll see those links in there. And maybe, some of the things that we talked about will inspire a conversation with you and your
it.
whānau or your friends or with your journal or in a walk, So, until next time, stay curious, stay present, and keep the flame alive. Lots of love.
Adiora.
Ngā mihi.